We got ourselves a fresh 6-liter, and we're gonna be doing a cam and head swap on this thing and making some big power. So this thing is actually going in a 78 F100. Let's yank it apart.
Rock and roll. All right, so I wanted to see what's gonna be going on top of this engine. It's gonna go in a 78 F100. Very, very cool truck. It's got a lot of room for about any intake we want to put on it without it poking out the hood. And you guys didn't chimp out on this thing. You went pretty crazy.
No, this is, you know, the creme de la creme when it comes to high-rise intakes. And this thing is even color matched to the wheels on the truck, and it is gorgeous. I just love it.
It's so hot. All right, so what throttle body do you put on it?
So it's got the Sniper EFI throttle body. So this is actually going to run off the Holley Terminator X Max. So it has the transmission controller, all the shebang built into it.
Okay.
You know, you can have that sweet dash as well. So the truck's getting one of those, so you don't really have to worry about shoving a bunch of gauges in it. It just has that nice sweet panel, and it's a really, really clean look. You know, you guys will get to see that at a later date. I'm super excited to show this off once everything's all together. Now, it's also getting one of our Summit swap pans, because to get it to clear in the truck, we had to do a little massaging, and you know, you can go and find an old F-body pan, but with the Summit Racing parts guys, you know, we have our own swap pans, and these things are absolutely phenomenal. And we got it in black, so it's nice, sleek, you know, lots of black parts going on this thing.
You gotta empty the bag. I'm like,
yeah. And then into the bag, fun stuff. So we have that Melling Oil Pump.
Which one you get? Oh, the 295, all right.
So that, and you know, we have to have a little bling under the engine, so we have an ICT billet cover.
These guys do good work.
And then, you know, with our timing chain and stuff like that, we got that Trick Flow W block, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, keep the thing together, make it live.
He's talking about the timing chain damper, and with that there's a couple styles. There's a tensioner, which is known to fail even in a stock engine. There's a plastic W style damper. It's a cool deal. It keeps the chain from whipping. So even when you put any chain in it, I don't care what you got, most of the blocks will accommodate it. They got a couple holes right here in the front to accommodate it, but if you don't, no big deal. Trick Flow actually makes one that bolts to the cam retaining plate, drops in there to keep your chain from whipping. An absolute must-have.
I'm gonna walk up to retail, grab our cam, our lifters, our head gaskets, all our good parts to get this thing going back together. But yeah, we just wanted to show you off, you know, a couple kind of, we had to get this stuff first, and you know, we fitted it to the engine and made sure it fit in the truck, because that's a big thing when you're swapping an LS into a vehicle. You have to make sure stuff fits before you really jump into it.
So one of the other cool things about this intake manifold is it makes a lot of low-end torque. A lot of people see, you know, a high ram, tunnel ram, and they're like, oh, it's gonna be all high-end. These things have a nice long runner in there, not as long as factory, but still really long. So it's gonna be a great match for the Torquinator and a 6-liter. Probably expect maybe 450 at the wheels, but we may find out later. It's gonna make probably as much torque or more than it does horsepower. It's one of those rare engines, but it's a cool combination to have something this big with that smaller cam. It has a lot of lift to it. It's still 600 lift. It's designed for beehives, so the thing is designed to go forever on a good aftermarket 600 lift beehive spring. So it's just a great package that's going to turn the tires over.
Yeah, and that's, like I said, I'm excited to get this thing all together and drive it and see what the deal is. So yeah, we just wanted to show off a couple parts. We're going to jump back into the engine, you know, measure a couple things, and then start putting stuff together.
Rock and roll.
Heck yeah.
All right, so what we're going to do next is we do want to know, you know, what the cam bearing clearance is on these things. And I know that they're not down to the copper yet, but I still want to know because I've seen some loose ones, and we want to know just in case, you know, the oil pressure is a little bit you know. So how we do that, we basically use the transfer mic method. So no matter what you got, you don't need a fancy, you know, setting fixture or anything like that. You're just transferring the measurement from the cam directly into the mic, and then we're going to set the dial bore gauge off the mic. We have 2.1650, which is exactly to spec even after all this time. So the cam itself hasn't worn, and we'll set the dial bore gauge up off this and check our net clearance. All right, so what we're doing here is we've got our micrometer is in our vise, and we're setting up the Summit dial bore gauge off of this thing. The cool thing about this dial bore gauge is it's accurate down to the 1/10 of 1,000th of an inch. So it's super duper accurate. It's a little bit touchy to set, but then you know for sure you're getting exactly what you need for a measurement. All right, so what we're doing right now is we just set the dial bore gauge. It's the Summit 10ths gauge, meaning 0.0001 accuracy. Super duper nice action on this thing. We made it specifically for, you know, engine builders that want to start taking themselves pretty seriously and start doing, you know, a few engines every year. Great price point as well. So we measured the cam with the micrometer, set the dial bore gauge off the micrometer. Now we're going to put the dial bore gauge into the cam bearing and we're going to check net clearance. What do we expect on this thing? Brand new, these things range anywhere from say 3,500, so 0.0035. Could be a little bit more than that, you know, say, you know, 4 thousandths worth of clearance. The service limit on this thing is about 5.5, so 0.0055 is what GM would like you to see. Now I did measure off the old cam. We're gonna put a fresh brand new cam in this thing, but I just wanted to know what we had to start with and then whether we're gonna have to change cam bearings out. And as I'm floating this thing in here, I'm checking the swing on this thing and we've got 6 thousandths flat, 6 thousandths and 1/10. And by the time we put a new cam in there with fresh cam journals on it, we're going to be even better shape. So we'll go through and check all the bearings going front to back, but this one looks like it's going to be fine with the cam bearings that it's got inside. So the last thing we did is we checked clearance on the cam bearings. We had about 6 thousandths, which is right on the edge of being okay or not. It would have been okay, except for we started looking at more of them and we were down to the copper on some. That is definitely time to change cam bearings. The problem with low pressure is the cam doesn't really need it. The rest of your engine need it. Your rod bearings need it, the mains, everything else, and it's all in the same circuit. So just go ahead and replace the cam bearings. It's not hard. Get one of our handy dandy cam bearing knockers. They are American made steel, very easy to do. And on top of that, once you own the tool, you're gonna start doing more cam bearings for yourself. You can rent the tool out to other people, or you can even just go ahead and if a buddy needs some help, just go over there and help him out and, you know, case of beer on down the road. Life is good, right? Yep. So we've got the rear cover blowing off this thing. We do recommend going ahead and putting on a cover that has a seal in it. The reason why is if you have a block of wood and a hammer and a prayer, it's half the time it's maybe okay, but it's no fun to have an oil leak and you have to pull the transmission off of it or you have to pull the damper out of it in the vehicle. Spend a few extra bucks, go ahead and get a cover with the seal in it like these have. We've also got brand new barbells. If you need them, these are the fancy billet ones. And with that, let's go ahead and blow out the rear cover on this thing and take a look and see what we got.
Let's get to it.
All right.
Yeah, we're just kind of looking in and the back one looks similar to the front. We have a couple spots that are copper. There's a lot of guys that say don't look at them, don't change them, but in this case, we're gonna put cam bearings in this thing.
This thing is gonna be alive for a long, long time. Really, once we do this, it can go back together and run for not just tens of thousands of miles. We might get another 100 out of this. It's not uncommon to have that happen, as long as we have good oil pressure with it. So we're gonna go ahead and replace the cam bearings. They're about 25 bucks, almost nothing. I know it's something, but to get 100,000 miles out of something without messing, we're gonna do it.
So sounds good. Yeah, let's get the gasket peeled off and get to it. So these barbells can kind of be a little hard to get out sometimes. So
that's one way of phrasing it.
Yeah, one of the tricks I like to use, I grab a drill, I'll drill a baby hole in it, and then I'll grab a sheet metal screw, and I simply just start it a little bit, and gives you something to hold on and pull it out.
Yeah, you don't really have to worry about it getting junk back inside the oil galleys either, which is nice.
No, the key is not to drill all the way through the head. Like you don't want to drill all the way through this thing. Right. So yeah, I don't really like the plastic one, so I like to replace them with like sweet billet ones, like this Summit one we have here.
All right, we're to the point where we wanted to do cam bearings in this thing. We want to do it with the rotating assembly installed, which is, you know, it's like, if we try to take that rotating assembly thing out, it's going to become cleaning the block, it's going to be honing the cylinders, it's going to be a lot of things that we really didn't want to do, and a lot of you guys don't do either. What we do need to do with cam bearings though is figure out what block we have. There's an early and a late. There's actually 3 different designs of cam bearings, and on this Gen 3 block, it is either going to be 2.326 on the front housing bore, or it's going to be 2.346 on the housing bore, and that's going to help us decide which set of bearings we're going to put in the engine. I've got my handy dandy Chicago dial caliper here, 2.3 2.346. I'm going to call that 2.346. We'll go ahead and show the detail of where you go into the website. It's through customer help. You just type in LQ9 into the search bar. The next thing it takes you to is a handy dandy little article that says LQ9 specs. You click on that and it's got everything you need it's got torque specs, housing bores, cam bores, rods, mains, heads, valves,
everything,
pumps,
all the specs you
injectors.
need to build an LS.
Because we love LS here at Summit Racing. Anyway, with that, we're going to get to work. Thank you.